Hello everyone, I'm Mrs Mapplebeck and today I'm here to tell you all about an orchestra. So I'm going to do this in two ways. First we're going to have a little chat about what an orchestra is, and then I'm going to show you some different instruments through Peter and the Wolf, which is a story and it uses different instruments to tell us about the different characters. Okay, so the first things first, let's take a look at a picture of an orchestra. Okay, so everyone, you can see me still here, hopefully. Okay, so in front of you, you can see an orchestra. All an orchestra is lots of different instruments playing together. And there are 4 different types of families of instruments in the orchestra. First of all, we have the string family, which you'll probably see right down at the front. We have violins there and some bigger ones, which are cellos. We have a woodwind family and a brass family, and then the percussion family. So this is what an orchestra might look like on stage. Peter and the Wolf is music written to a story, and each instrument gets its own character. So we're going to have a little look at the instruments of the orchestra through the characters of Peter and the Wolf. So let's have a look. You have 4 different instruments here, and these all belong to the string family. The smallest one is the violin, okay, and the smallest one makes the highest sound. So we have the violin. Then what looks like a violin but just a bit bigger is the viola, and then what looks a lot bigger is the cello. And as they start to get bigger, the sound gets lower. And then the last one, which is the really big one, is the double bass. Okay, and all of these instruments are played with bows, which you can see right at the end next to the double bass, or you can pull their strings as well. These instruments are the string family of the orchestra. Now, in our story, we have a little boy called Peter, and he's a rather happy little boy, and this is the music the string section make for Peter. So let's have a listen. Okay, so that's our string section of the orchestra. Okay, everyone, this is the woodwind section. It's called the woodwind section because they all used to be made from wood. It's only the flute that isn't now, and you blow into them. So the first one we're going to listen to is the flute, which is one with a picture of the bird underneath, because, yes, you guessed it, in Peter and the Wolf, there is a character, which is the bird, and the flute plays the bird's music. So let's have a listen. Okay, so that's our flute. Feels quite light, doesn't it? You can almost hear the birds twittering. Now the next one along is called an oboe. This belongs to the woodwind family as well. And let's have a listen. This is the duck in the story. Okay, and the next one in the woodwind family is the clarinet. Now this represents the cat in the story, and I almost like to think the music's kind of like it's kind of stalking through the glass. Okay, let's have a listen. And last up, we have the bassoon. Now the bassoon is quite large. It's really tall, and it makes quite a low sound, which I'm sure you're going to hear soon. And this is the grandpa in the story. And as you can imagine, the grandpa's a little bit old and the music might be a little bit slower. He's kind of like plodding along. So let's have a listen. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed listening to the sounds of the woodwind instruments, and let's move on to the next section. Okay, everyone, this is the brass section of the orchestra. As you can see, they're all really nice and shiny. First we have the trumpet, and then we have this French horn here, which is really curled up. You can see all the tubes really curled round. We have a trombone, and this has a slide which kind of moves up and down. And this big instrument is the tuba, which is a really big, low sound. So in Peter and the wolf character is represented by the French horn, so the one that's really curly and all twisted round. So if we move the screen to show you, it's not just represented by one French horn, but 3 to make a really big sound. Okay, let's have a listen. So here we go. This is the wolf and the French horns. Okay, pretty scary stuff. Lastly, this is the percussion family, and in the Peter and the Wolf we use the timps, okay, which are here on the screen, and they're like big drums. Okay, there's other instruments too that belong in the percussion family. I'm sure you might have used some at school: the triangle, tambourines, maracas. Okay, but let's have a listen to the timpani, how they sound. The timpani in Peter and the Wolf represent the hunters that are coming after the wolf. So I think they're going to be quite loud. Okay, so really big sounds there from the timpani. Okay, everyone, so we've had a little look at some of the instruments in the orchestra and some of the characters that they represent in Peter and the Wolf. So what I'd like you to do now is go to the YouTube link that I've got on here, which is going to take you to Sunderland Symphony Orchestra's performance of the entire Peter and the Wolf. It's a great story. Have a listen to it. See if you can spot the instruments and the sounds that we've had a little look at today. And then you have a worksheet which you can write down which instrument belongs to which character. So if you can remember who Peter is represented by, he's the strings, isn't he? So we've got Peter and the strings. You could have a little description. Is the music happy? Is Peter happy, do you think? And then you could even have a little drawing. You could draw your own characters. Okay, use your imaginations. So everyone, I hope you've enjoyed your introduction to the orchestra. Go and check out Sunderland Symphony Orchestra on the YouTube link that I have, and enjoy Peter and the Wolf. Bye everyone.